Hi there, thanks for joining me. So, I'm starting something new. It is called customer support, and this is based on my experience, like over the years working with customers from retail to retail banking to just like overall my customer experiences and if you do need some like tips or advice or anything like that, I hope this videos will help you. So this is part one, and the title is called Interruption. Excuse me. So when it comes to an interaction with a customer, say for example you're a consultant or you're at the till or anywhere really. It is just like about the communication and doing that part really well so that the customer can leave with a good experience, and that creates customer loyalty, and so the customer will come back to the store or back to your branch, and they might even, with good communication, they might take a liking to you, and they might specifically come ask for you the next time based on the experience they had with you in the past. So when it comes to these different aspects to this, when it comes to colleagues, and say for example your colleague is busy with a customer, so if that happens, whether you're a consultant, like I said, or in any other situation, you are busy, it's you and the customer, and someone comes like like someone who works in your space and comes and just speaks randomly to you while you are busy with an interaction with the customer, this causes a big disturbance. So basically, from a let's call it from a consultant's perspective, right? From a consultant's perspective, you are now thrown off in terms of um, you are listening, your attention is taken away from that customer, and you are now listening to your colleague or whoever it is that's speaking. You're trying to process what they're trying to say. Your mind is taken to a different place in terms of what it is that they want and what you have to deliver later, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? The customer is also now listening to the internal processes of your branch or your space, so which is not necessary, because remember, if a customer is coming to purchase an item or seeing you for a service interaction, for example, they don't have maybe they do have the time, but they are focusing on you and they need your assistance and they need your skills to basically help them achieve their goal, which is to give them the product that they want, make them understand what they're buying, and leave the understanding what it is that they purchased or that they agreed to. So that interruption with when it comes from your colleague, that can cause major problems, because later on your customer might have other questions for you which could have been resolved in your time that you spent with the customer. And also with you might even just get half of the information with regards to your colleague's conversation, because your attention was diverted from the customer to to your colleague and then back to the customer. This is a little bit unprofessional, in my opinion. I think a solution for this problem is you can either, there's different, lots of businesses are encouraging WhatsApp now. So you can then WhatsApp your colleague and or email your colleague and then let them know that there is a deadline if it's urgent, and they can maybe just read the email when they feel they have a moment and the customers may be busy doing something, or you ask the customer to maybe complete an online form or whatever the case may be, and you find the appropriate moment, only you will know because you are busy with that customer. There's just no way your colleagues can be watching every second of your conversation, because it is not recorded live. So basically, they won't know what the right time is and when you are able to read that. So it is best to be prepared in terms of what the expectations are for your colleagues in terms of what needs to happen during the day. But if it's really urgent, I would suggest WhatsApping your colleague or emailing your colleague so that they can find the appropriate moment to read the email and understand what it is that is quite that urgent. If it really cannot wait, and then your colleague will find the right moment to excuse themselves from the customer and then explain to the customer that they'll be right back and make them feel at ease, and then deal with the situation and then go back to the customer. So it's best that you have that professional image for you as a consultant or a salesperson, as well as for your overall branch experience, as well as the environment you're working in. So that is when it comes to interruption, when it comes I'm talking about interrupting your colleague when your colleague is busy in an interaction. So now let's look at a different aspect again. Let's look at I just made some notes here again. You yourself are busy with a customer, and whether or not there's so many people waiting in line, need to assist the customer to with whatever issue the customer is there for. So say for example it's in a service environment and you need to explain to the customer how to do something. Maybe it is to look at the app, whatever app you specifically have there, and the customer isn't tech savvy, whatever the case may be, and you need to now guide the customer. So now if the person is slow or whatever the case may be, and you have 10 other urgent things to do, the wrong thing would be to interrupt the customer and say like do this, do that, whatever, like rush the customer when it is a customer that is moving at a slow pace. So you need to then go back and find a strategy as to how you're going to then assist this customer. So you will have to go at the customer's pace firstly, and then if you don't have the time, I don't see why you wouldn't have the time, because if it's in a consultation space, you are then scheduled the time to speak to the customer. But if you really don't have the time, I would say reschedule an appointment with that customer and sit down and guide the person, unless there are other steps guiding the customer as to how the app works or whatever the case may be in terms of what the customer is busy with. Remember, people are not all the same. Some people are slow, some people are fast, some people they learn differently. So it is your job to make sure that that person resolves the problem that they asking your help for. So, and you are there to help them, so you need to move at their pace. If you're not able to, you then reschedule the appointment, or you will then you will have to postpone whatever it is that is so urgent and you making you rush through the interaction and focus solely on that customer. Otherwise it will lead to a bad customer experience. Then let me see. So again, I just want to clarify in terms of like with when you are in when you are in an interaction with a customer, excuse me, it is important that you move at the customer's pace. There are ways that you can speed up the process, and that means that you will have to professionally guide that person to move a little bit faster. But but it shouldn't be something rude, or it should be professional behavior. So sometimes you don't have an answer immediately. Sometimes you don't have an immediate answer. That means that you can always reschedule and get back to the customer later. But it's important that you are fully aware of the customers, the interaction with the customer, and make sure that the customer leaves with a good experience.